Hey, Eric, it's gonna take us a second.
Okay, no problem at all. That's not a good first view that I have though.
It's the best view we got here in the town hall.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
Interest-
times are tough here in Coventry.
Jeez, I'm sorry you have to deal with that on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
the poor guy, he forgot how to shave, only part of his face. Let me just turn the screen around.
What are you, deep in thought, Dave?
What are you doing, Pope? I'm surprised you're up this early. What are you doing? You feeding the babies?
Let me tell you something, buddy. I was on the elliptical at 5 a.m.
Other people work for a living.
It's before work, pal. Got to get it in before work.
Oh, I wish I had Larry to carry me like he does you.
Anybody,
So
who else?
Are you in the office? No, you're at home.
I'm actually 8 o'clock is like chaos in my house for Rachel trying to get the 2 kids out. So I came down to the Morgan clerk's office for this meeting, and then I'll go back home after they've gone, because it would be hard to try to conduct a meeting with her trying to get the kids out the door. It's a chaotic time in the morning in our house. So.
Well, I'm glad we're paying you $60K to be a fucking babysitter, Pope.
No, you're underpaying me, pal. I think that yeah, I should have asked for 8:30 to schedule a meeting, and that was my mistake. Then I would have been fine. But
Sabini's quiet today.
yeah, he's not.
Trying to take it all in, Dave.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Take it all in.
It's a lot to focus on, ain't it?
Yeah, it's pretty intense, let me tell you.
Yeah.
What a way to start our Friday, huh, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's normal for me. I boot around the offices, I check the roads, holler at the boys.
You're looking a little scruffy, Gallup.
Yeah, I've been, Biden's actually paying me by the inch to grow this COVID liberation there of America.
There you go. You can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
You do look like your typical Biden voter.
I look like the guy that was going through the
Yeah, to the Capitol. That was your cousin, no?
No.
None of my cousins got the gas money to get to Washington.
Oh.
Ned, 6 feet, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, well,
No. 3 feet. 3 feet now. Ned, how you doing? I'm Eric Pope. Pleasure to meet you.
Hey, Eric. Actually, Eric, we met many years ago.
Okay.
I was working with the Upper Valley. Do you remember when Upper Valley, Lake Sunapee Regional Planning, had a couple of towns in Vermont?
Oh, yes.
I met at one of those Thursday morning RPC meetings.
There you go. That's right. Okay. Well, nice to see you again then.
Ned, I'm Jason, 70. Work with Eric here at the district. I don't think we've ever met, but maybe.
Actually, we may have met because when I was a consultant, I was doing traffic counts for Doug Morton at NVDA, so we probably met.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But hi again.
Well, in any event, it's a pleasure. I'm sorry you have to work with Dave every day.
Yes, we're both sorry.
Well, I will counteract that. It's one of the great pleasures of my professional career to work with someone like David.
Yeah.
And I say that with a sincere heart.
Just a compliment of what you guys have heard for years.
If you are in fact sincere, I just say give it a few months. That's all.
Oh, hey, we as yeah. I'm gonna leave my comment aside for right now.
We won't put you on hot seat anymore. We'll take a break.
If you're ever in a need to see a photo of Dave Gallup scared for his life, okay, just let me know and I will supply that information to you because I do have it and I hold it tight.
All right,
Okay, he happened to be wading through the river there
Colorado River, weren't it?
with a rope tied around his waist, and he was scared pretty much half to death. So I'm hanging on to that information in case I ever need to utilize it.
all right.
That
All
was
right.
that was a great day, Dave.
It was.
All right, so it's just the two of you this morning?
Just
Yeah.
us, yeah.
Okay. All right, we won't keep you too long. We'll keep it short, sweet, and pretty simple. There's a couple documents that we have to fill out together, Ned. So I don't know if you have that packet that we sent over to you.
I do, but to make this meeting work, I had to turn my screen around, so I don't have access to my computer right now.
Okay. Well, there's a couple forms that we have to fill out during this meeting. I guess conceivably, well, see, even if I fill it out, you still have to sign it. So you're gonna probably need to find a way to print those out quick.
All right,
No big deal, just
Oh,
Yeah.
throw a wrench into it, Pope.
say it again.
So you always gotta throw a wrench into it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Dave, so I got that estimate from Tim, and Jason and I talked yesterday, and we should have room to slot you in for some engineering funds for this year.
Yeah. So I'm kind of wondering if I didn't jump the gun on that a little bit. My concern being, I guess I told you I talked to Alan and we might get that Hancock Hill grant.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll probably get that. Yeah. Okay. So what does that have to do with Lane though?
Well, what I was wondering is, I don't think we've done the engineering on Hancock, so he gave me an estimate for everything. So we could do the, grant application.
Yeah.
So I wonder, of course, I wouldn't know until May, one way or the other, if I should have used it for Hancock's instead of Lane.
Well,
I think given the cost of Hancock's, I think it's gonna be a reasonable cost.
okay.
And I think given the difficulty that the Lane Road's gonna be, I think probably getting going on that would be a big deal, because I know, Rivers and Streams, Pat.
Yeah.
Pat said there's gonna be a lot of eyes on that. I think Tim underestimated his quote on the Lane Road. I think that's just gonna be a big deal down there.
Well, I mean, I mean, that's just the engineering. Obviously, the structure will probably be, quite an expensive project, but, yeah, I mean, Tim, I've seen him, that's in the ballpark that he's usually in for estimates, and even in some of the more, complex projects.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're saying, you're saying that you do want to go ahead with the Lane Road engineering then, yes?
We might as well, Eric, because I think that's gonna be a big dollar project.
Okay. Yeah, no, you definitely need engineering there. That site, there's a lot of water going. There's a couple like ponds, then you have the stream, and it's a lot going on there.
Actually, there's a man-made dam at the end of the pond.
Right. That too. Yep. So definitely, something to have some formal engineering, whereas the Hancock one, maybe, I mean, you might need engineering on that too, but, you could just pull that out of your pocket. So.
Yeah. We call it special funds here.
Right. Yeah.
Slush fund. Dave slush.
So we're approved on that. Getting 2 for 1 money.
Yeah, it's 4-for-1 money, but, well, we didn't talk about that, Dave, yet.
4-for-1, all right, I like that. All right, we have the forms.
All right. Okay, so the only two we need to fill out, Ned, are the annual financial plan or TA 60. You see that one there?
TA 60, got it.
Okay. All right, so, we'll just go right down. It's pretty simple, but I'll just kind of talk you through it, and I'm gonna kind of just feed you the info.
All right,
So in the top, well, the top line, obviously just logistical stuff that you can do anytime, but class one, for where it says class one mileage, that number is 0. You have 0 class 1 miles, so you put a 0 there and then
Yeah.
a 0 in the dollar column.
yeah,
Then you drop down to class 2, and for Coventry, that's 10.44 miles.
you got it.
All right, and then I'm gonna round the dollar figure, just to make it easier. So 44,600.
44600, all right.
Class 3 mileage, 25.28,
28, okay.
and that's 40,100.
4100, you got it.
All right, so then, the next line is something that you folks are gonna have to come up with. Dave's hopefully got his book right there. So we need the town tax funds as they pertain to your highway budget that you've raised for your highway budget. Last year, that number was $253,000 for perspective, so.
That's what we budgeted again this year.
Same amount.
All right, perfect, nice and easy. All right, so 253 right there. And then,
Hang on, you sure about 253? It wasn't 269, something like that?
So it says right there,
Okay,
253.
25300.
okay, and then below that for special funds, so that's just bonds or earmarks that, last year you didn't have any. List noted. Dave, you got any this year?
What was that now?
Special funds, do we have any?
Special funds, in relating to maintenance, road maintenance.
Grant revenue and stuff, you mean? Are you talking grant revenue?
Grant revenue?
Is that what you're asking?
No, do we have any set aside funds that we specially earmark for special projects in town?
Not necessarily, I mean, we did,
Okay. Good, all right. So then, Ned, what we're gonna do is we gotta calculate those 3 numbers that we have above, so, you gotta calculate, the class 2, then the class 3 and the town tax funds, and then you total that at the bottom.
Okay. I will take them up.
Okay. All right, and then what you're gonna do is you take that total number, you swing it down
Yep,
to the bottom of the second box where it says total. You're gonna put that number there. And then, it looks like you do, I don't know if it's a 60-40 split in your maintenance. Last year, it looks like you split it 60-40, Dave. So you had 60% of that number to non-winter maintenance and then the 40 to winter maintenance.
so we did, for winter, we did this year we have 125,877.39. And summer is 133,569.94.
Okay, the problem with that is that those numbers are probably not including your state aid that we just added up top. So those 2 numbers probably aren't gonna add up to the total that Ned would have just had it added up. You know what I mean?
You hang on just a minute, so that'd be 250. So that is, these numbers are basically represent what we spend other than state aid.
Okay, well, for the purpose of this form, what I wanna do is I wanna just add up the class 2 and 3 to the town tax funds, the 253. When you get that number, I wanna break our non-winter and winter off of that number, which includes the state aid.
Okay.
And like I said, most towns do 50-50 split. It looks like last year you had one, I'm gonna round numbers, we had 184,000 for non-winter and 153,000 for winter, so, I don't know if that's is that the same strategy you're gonna use this year? That's up to you, but.
We're a little higher in summer. We're
Okay.
8,000 higher in summer.
All right, well, maybe that's more like 55, 45 then.
Yeah.
So maybe you should calculate it at 55% of that is non-winter and 45 is winter.
Right, okay.
Okay, all right, so,
We will add those numbers in.
okay. So the point of this form is just the goal is to come up with our non-winter maintenance number here. And that allows us, if we get an isolated weather event or such in Coventry, lose some infrastructure that didn't kind of meet countywide FEMA threshold. So FEMA's not going to be having any funding available. That allows VTrans to utilize our ER grant program. When you hit 10% of your non-winter maintenance budget, it triggers us being able to come in with some ER grant funding to help you replace or, repair a structure that got damaged or a roadway. And it's happened 3 times or so in the past 5 years. And so it doesn't come into play often, but it's a good little, loophole close, if you need it. So that's that. One of the reasons, the other reasons to verify that you're spending $300 per mile on your roads, which, most towns are well above that, but that's the purpose of the TA60. So then on the back of that, Ned, or on the second page, however you printed it, there's just a signing page.
Yeah,
So we'll just fill that out and, that's that. And then, so on to the next form we have to do is the codes and the road and bridge standards.
all right, got it.
Okay. So that one's very simple. This is just in 2019, VTrans released a new set of road and bridge standards to better align with the municipal roads general permit. And so right now we're just recertifying those year after year going forward until they come up with a new set of standards. So that's all this is for. So it's just a research. So that first line, obviously Coventry, and then the second blank is I went looked up. You adopted the new standards on July 15th, 2019. So you can put that right there. And then there's two.
29.
No, July 15th of 19.
15, okay, that's right, set of 2020, okay. Good.
All right, and then there's 2 sets of boxes. So you're gonna check due on both of them. So
Yeah.
the first set you check due, and the second set you check due, and then just sign and date it, and that's that.
All right,
The only other thing that we're gonna have to fill out, and we don't have to, I'm gonna send it to you, Ned, a little later. It's just we're updating all our contacts for towns, just mostly in terms of if we need them for emergencies.
yeah,
Jason and I want to get current data, so I'm just gonna send you a blank form that's fillable and nice and easy. So, and no rush on it, whenever you get a chance.
all
And
right,
so between that, the contact form, and those 2 forms we just filled out, if you could just scan and email them whenever you get a chance. And then the TA60, our DTA will sign it. And then we'll get you a copy at that time, probably in a few weeks. And I'll probably just gonna email them this year. I don't think we're gonna mail physical copies, but those are the only things formally that we have to do. We're eventually, as Dave and I and Jason were just talking about the Lane Road grant engineering, we'll eventually do an application for that, which you probably have in that packet, but I'm gonna probably do most of that, to be honest. So I'll just maybe need to work with you on a couple little logistical items.
sure,
But as far as like contacts for the grant, and all that, but I'm probably gonna put most of it together myself. I just figure that it just works easier. And then we'll just keep in touch with the process on how that's going and where we're at. And Jason and I still, there's no, verification completely yet on the grant allotment that we're gonna be given this year, but we're both very confident that, we'll have the money to fund the engineering for this project. So But until it's official, it's not official. So we'll just
Yeah.
kind of keep in touch. And I already started a file on it, and I started putting together some pictures, and we have some pictures. Dave's buddy Shane took some pictures a few years ago, so I have some of those, and I'm gonna, start getting everything gathered that I need for it, and that's about all I'll need from you is just a little logistical info when the time's right. So, and then Ned, how that works, just while I have you and we can kind of chat about it, is once we do submit the grant, which probably won't be for another month to 6 weeks, it goes to contract admin basically, and there's some clearance things that have to happen. You're probably familiar with the process.
Yeah.
But eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to probably put you as the prime contact on the grant. So when contract admin has cleared it, they're going to ship you a copy. So you get it by via email. And so you'll need to be on the lookout for that. And then you'll have the select board sign it and then ship it back to VTrans. And also they'll probably ask you for a certificate of insurance along with that. And then they'll take it back. And then then the secretary will sign it. And then they ship it back to you as an executed grant agreement, which then allows you to be able to move forward on that. So that's kind of how that framework works. And I think that if, you should just keep an eye out for it, and I'll let you know when it's coming. But the grant won't be active until July 1st.
Right.
So, keep those things in mind. We're telling towns to be real careful of starting any work or having Tim start any work before July 1st and before you have a grant in hand. Just with what happened last year with the grant program, we're just making sure towns are aware of that. So,
Yeah.
but
How far behind is contracting right now? Because I know we have the sidewalk scoping study, and we've been waiting 8 weeks for the damn contract. And
yeah, this is probably a different pool of people a little bit, but the grant program, it depends. For engineering, they don't get as intensive in their clearances. But you got to go through an environmental clearance and then a historical and archaeological clearance. I would say we usually see them turn around in 6 weeks to maybe 6 to 8. So we try to if we get them in like early May, usually you can have a grant employment by mid-June, grant agreement in place by then. But, every year is different. And Jason, we've seen it go a few months where we've had to kind of reach out and say, hey, look, this project needs to go soon. We need to get this cleared. And usually when you prompt them a bit, we find that they really, they hear that call and usually get on it. So they're pretty good to work with mostly, but it's just things take time, and it's the projects that involve more right-of-way issues or state road issues are always going to take a little longer.
yeah,
But these town like box culverts they usually clear pretty quick.
okay.
So that's kind of how that shakes out. But
Yeah, I had a question on that multi-sector thing. So I know we were supposed to download it, digitalize it or whatever, put it on the computer, all our information. Correct?
say that again, Dave.
So your multi-sector road permit.
Oh, the road erosion inventory.
Yeah, so that's all supposed to be on a computer now, digitalized.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So I don't believe Amanda did any of that work, and I reached out to Sarah yesterday to see if she'd ever had contact with Amanda on that. I know Amanda was trying to peddle it off to her, Sarah Danzel.
Yep. Let me, I'm gonna go on A&R right now and look at what I see on there for Coventry. The road erosion inventory, I imagine the inventory's been done, and if it was done in the system, it would just automatically be uploaded into the program. So you may not have to really do anything else as far as capture, but let me take a quick look.
Because I know there was a program where you would get a $5,000 grant to do that kind of work.
Right. Yeah, that was yeah. I mean, there was you got a category A better roads grant. I think that's what you did a few years ago, if if I remember. And didn't you go around with Sarah doing that work?
We did all the work, Eric. What I'm saying is, I remember, wasn't it last year, year before, where you guys wanted it all digitalized, or whatever you call it, downloaded on the computer?
Right. Yeah, you're all set. You're in there.
Yeah, I clicked on the MRGP too, and you go have it out. But what you're gonna need to do, Dave, is now that all your inventory's been done and everything, the app, but it's up to the time to update as you do work on roads, and we can help.
All
Yeah.
right.
But as far as digitizing anything, all been, you're good with that.
Huh.
All right, as they do work, I'll make sure it gets uploaded and corrected.
Yeah, on that erosion inventory app.
Well, I was
You know-
done 2 years before I started. How am I gonna improve it?
Uh-huh.
I was done 2 years before we started. How am I gonna improve on it?
I'll tell you, I'm looking at your town right now, and you have very little
Yeah.
red or yellow, which means out of compliance. I mean, you're mostly green. I don't see, you don't have a lot of work to do, which is great for you. Look at you. I mean, you like it like that. So, no, it's, you're in good shape, Dave. I mean, most of, your segments are in the green, which means they're in compliance. So, and next year at the end of 2022, they're asking that 15% of your road segments that are out of compliance be brought into compliance. But looking at what you have, you're already there and won't have a problem.
So if you look, can you look, are the ones that are out of compliant, is it down on High Acres?
I'm on the now, Dave. I think you got only have 8 segments.
Okay, so like those ones on High Acres, she pretty much said, we don't know what to do. We're gonna leave this up to you, because I didn't wanna, it's just a place where all I have was like a grader ditch. That's all I can do without disturbing a bank.
A
So
lot
I
of,
don't know if those are the ones she has as non-compliant or not.
well, so a lot of what was that again, Dave?
So basically on the ones that she said I wasn't compliant with,
Road was, what specific road are you talking about? I'm just looking at the list right now.
High Acres,
Probably
Okay.
won't be.
So, yeah, I'm looking at it now. It says partially meets. So here's the deal, right? Sometimes these inventories done, and I'm not trying to talk bad about it, did it, but sometimes folks are doing it that aren't really 100% familiar with road construction. Based on what they think it's not meeting. So bottom line is, if you've got something that does not meet, and if you and I, you look at, this is all you do, I think you're mitigating the best you can. Go right in and basically say it meets. You know what I mean?
We're going to keep.
So I would say any road, as you look at this, that doesn't meet, and you got questions, call her.
Okay,
so that's on the A&R website, you said, James?
yeah. Dave,
Yeah, there's something called the MRGP portal, which basically you can go in there and look at your town and you can view summaries of the whole erosion road inventory and break it down into each road. It tells you exactly what needs to be done and what's marked as perfectly or does not meet wholly meet. So are you familiar with that website? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Dave, if you can just hook up with Ned and look at that together.
Yeah, not a problem. Okay.
So like, I'm gonna kind of be annoying here for a minute. See my screen?
Yeah,
That's like what you can view on that portal. It's a whole list of all your roads, and you see that red one?
yeah,
So that red says that section of Glen Road does not meet. And that was back in 2017. Maybe it does now. But that's just an idea of what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, I think I did that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll
you're,
go through and make sure they're updated and that the roads are done and that the list is updated.
yeah, that's it.
Hey, Jason, what's Morgan look like? Fall foliage?
Huh?
What's Morgan's map look like? Fall foliage?
Yeah, they're rough. They got a rough crowd around there. They don't really know much about road building. So anyway, I don't know if Eric's got anything else, but I mean, I don't really have anything specifically to chat about it.
Nothing on 2 for 1?
That was
No.
back. That was back in the '80s, Dave, when they called that.
Well, you can pay, Jason, maybe we'll make them pay 50%.
Yeah, there you go. 2
All
for
right,
1.
Dave, you had paving money. Hold on, I got my spreadsheet here. We did, Coventry had a paving grant in FY18. So you're getting close to being ready to get some again, both on percentages and based on where, how many years it's been. So what is your thought? When are you looking to get some paving money and what project for and all that stuff?
Well, I was thinking, so we did that base coat on Coventry Station.
Yep.
And we were trying to get together some quotes, but we were kind of hoping to know if we were gonna have money available,
Right.
But we won't know until you probably meet with all the towns and see if they want it or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I mean, we hit the problem with this year is that you had some towns that were scheduled to go last year and then they froze the grant program. So those towns kind of transferred over to this year. And we do have a couple that went anyways, but so we kind of have that in the mix as well as the towns were already slated to get it this year. So
Yeah.
we just have to probably wait a little longer till the dust settles. To be quite direct with you, I don't believe there'll be paving money available for this year. Just to be honest, that, and that could change if we don't yet have the pot of money, official dollar amount that their overall dollar amount they're going to offer us. And that obviously could swing things a little bit. And as well as, a town changes their mind and no longer wants the grant for this year, that could open some money up. But in all likelihood, just to be honest, I would say you're probably the earliest would be next year. And even that is pretty competitive already. I already have quite a list for next year. FY24 is open, but next year being FY23, I can put you as requesting it for FY23 with the understanding you might have to wait till FY24. I mean, I think that's kind of how, and Jason and I still have more, information to receive before we make final decisions, but.
Are you in a position to, pave
Take it this year.
$200 worth of paving like now? And the reason why I asked that, Dave, if something comes up, right, and a town backs out, and we're like in a situation we've got money we need to get rid of, it's always good to have somebody who's on standby, right? Not a lot of and are ready to make $200,000 worth of payment, right? So I'm just if
Well, the focus of the board seems to be to pay.
okay, yep. At a 200 cap, you'd be looking, a fair amount of down.
Yeah, I think we could definitely come up with it.
Okay.
We could definitely meet the standby stuff.
Okay, no, I just want to have that kind of, but we try to have everything planned out for years, in like a couple of years maybe, but I just want to make sure if we could offload it.
All right, so that said, I'm gonna, I'll put you on the list and note that you're available to take it whenever it's available, basically. But we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to most likely, look at FY '24 with a slight chance of FY '23. That's just an honest assessment. That could change after the dust settles.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
fine.
understood. We got
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, last year, and not to make, not to explain it away, but, just with you have 5 grants slated and then none of them go, but that demand is still there. And then you had and it just kind of pushes everything out. It's unfortunate because you would have been due sooner, and to receive them, but, and maybe we'll get lucky in one of the scenarios that we laid out will come into play and we'll be able to offer it sooner. But in reality, I'm going to put you right on the FY '24 column. And then we'll hope to get to you earlier. But, obviously, Dave calls us all the time, too often, to be honest, but, no, so I mean, you can check in whenever you want as to where the status is, and we'll share it with you the best we can.
Okay,
I don't have anything else other than, like I said earlier, we'll continue to kind of keep in touch regarding the engineering grant. But there's nothing I need from you right now on that. I'm gonna take it from here for a while, so.
So you put your cue cards away.
No, that's your buddy
I'm
Biden.
not gonna ask you any tough questions like.
No, I don't need cue cards over here. Let me-
Now shuffle back to the bathroom, man, and get ready to do the kids' diapers.
I'm down in the clerk's office and the kids are already gone. My wife already left for work, probably. Always a pleasure, Dave.
Dave,
Back at you guys.
yeah. Thank you,
Dave,
Jim.
Yeah.
hold on. I'm just looking at the detail in your erosion inventory. And a lot of it is not, I think it's a lot of stuff that can be adjusted pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay,
There are damn foul pit and there, some of it, it's treatment. I think a lot of it, you're in good shape. I think a lot of it's pretty,
I'm almost sure, summer before last, I did 100%, and those ones that were up in the air were just basically things that they didn't have, they couldn't tell me, like I say, they couldn't really say, well, how do I do something different here?
yeah, and the comments that I'm seeing, I don't even think if she should have put them as not needed,
Yeah.
let's go out and look at it and we can get,
I was just wondering, my only concern was if it was uploaded or whatever you call it, because I knew, that was kind of in the works last year or the year before. I think it was last year.
It's in
You're all-
there.
you're all good.
Hey, Dave, one last question, for that. You said it was Coventry Station Road, right, for the paving?
Yeah.
How long of a project? How many miles?
I think it was like, 2.9.
Okay. I just like to keep track of those little details and, okay. All right. You're on the list here. So, we'll be in touch about that, hopefully sooner than we expect.
I'll
And,
check in weekly, Eric.
what's that?
I'll check in weekly. I know you guys.
Yeah,
are
yeah,
on
yeah,
board.
please do. Please, that, on a weekend preferably.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoy the weekend, calls or texts from Dave. That's a good thing for me in my life. All right, well, pleasure meeting with you, and Ned, I'll ship you over that contact sheet in a little bit, and then that'll be that.
All right, very good.
Hey, see you guys.
All right, thanks,
Have a
guys.
good one, guys.
Have a good one.